Hi, I'm Jim Campanini, and welcome to the Grapefully Yours Wine podcast. Today is my co-host, the Wine Butler, Michael Pigeon.
Yeah.
We hope you are doing well out there. I've got my golf cap on
Yeah.
with my Boston Red Sox. Two things: golf season, the Red Sox starting. How do you think they're going to do this year? By the way.
Oh, I don't know. They're not picked to do too much, so anything could be a surprise. We'll see.
Well, what do you think is more plausible? Me breaking 90 on the golf course, or the Red Sox winning 90 games?
Oh no, you're gonna break. You break 80 before that.
Oh,
Yeah. You'll break 80.
well,
So,
you're more optimistic than I am. I should continue drinking the wine, I
oh,
think.
I'm telling you, here we are together again to whine about wine.
Yeah. What? I like that. Well, I just want to. I want you to tell our audience out there today. We're going to talk about our adventure. We had a little exploration trip that the Wine Butler Mike talked me into, going up to Trader Joe's. Great store, nice fresh foods. And they also have a wine selection. You know, not as big as New Hampshire liquor store or even Costco, but it's a nice wine collection. And so Mike, why don't you tell what the genesis of this trip on that gorgeous day yesterday?
It was a gorgeous day, and to me, before we get into the wines, what made it so worthwhile to me, we took a selection home. I think 5 bottles,
Six
six,
bottles.
and you bought some nice cheese and crackers, the Gouda and the
Yeah.
goat cheese,
Yeah.
cherry flavored, sat under the pergola with the fading rays of the late afternoon.
Yes.
That is the way to spend an afternoon with the wines, tasting them there outside. Oh,
Yes, and it
beautiful.
was a great day in the pergola in the backyard, and then we invited the wine goddess to come down and share these wines. We're going to taste these wines, see what they're like. And she saw the two of us out there, and she came down with her Cosmo, her vodka and cranberry juice, and she said, "No, you guys are doing just fine and stuff." But if her back wasn't hurting her from her pre-garden work, she probably would have had to carry both of us up the stairs. But we had a nice day. The sun was out there and stuff.
Yeah.
So.
Well, Trader Joe's to me, it would be an undiscovered place for wine. It's not a place I maybe get the discount Cheerios or something up there. But, you know, if you go to Market Basket up in Nashua and you see the vast selection, and so wander over to Trader Joe's, and it was surprising. A lot of low-end price wines, but they had a good selection of the, nicer wines, mid-class wines, and there's plenty to choose from, as you found out.
Right, but here's the thing that I found out is buyer beware. When you go to these places and think there's a difference between a bargain, a deal, and an inexpensive or cheap wine. Okay, in my mind, a bargain is something when you know the wine is really good. That could probably, you say in your mind, wow, this wine is worth $15-20. I only paid $12.99 for it. See, that's a bargain in my mind. Because it's a little underpriced for the taste, the experience that you get from it. All right, and then there's a deal when like New Hampshire liquor stores or the Wine Connections or the local stores say, hey, you buy a case, we're going to give you 15 to 20% off on that. All right, now you pick out a wine that is fairly priced. Maybe in that $15 to $20 range. It's good. It's got good ratings from wine critics. You say, "Wow, I picked up this Italian wine or this Napa Cabernet, and I only paid cost averaging $15." That's a deal. But then there's our cheap wines, which I think you always have to be careful about. Things selling for less than $10. So because I think you have to know where the grapes are from. Who's the producer of those wines, and what was the vintage year? Okay, for that area of the wines, because right now there's a lot of juice out there on the market from wine tainted vintages. 1919, 2020, and a lot of the more respectable wine houses, if they saw that their wine was tainted, they didn't even sell it. Okay, they declassified it. They didn't even put it in their premium wines because they don't want customers to buy their wine and the customers say, "Wow, this is terrible. This isn't the same wine I had last year." Right? So what happens? Sometimes they sell that juice. It's still drinkable, but it's not going to be, it's not going to be up to snuff. So they sell it in bulk. A lot of it goes overseas. Unfortunately, some of it stays here in America. And, if Jim Campanini wants to buy, 500 gallons of fresh crushed juice, from Napa Valley, and it was tainted, I could do it and bottle it right here in Lowell, put my stamp on it. So I think, I'm not saying it happens all the time, but you have to be aware of this because that's where these wines, that's how they can sell it for cheap prices. It's in excess, it's in bulk, and in some cases, there's a reason why good wines cost good money. Okay, quality, you pay for quality. Would you agree to?
Yeah. Yep. It's the thing. Someone might go and say, "Oh, I'll bring a bottle of wine home for my wife." He's in Trader Joe's picking up a few items, and he says, "Well, gee, I really don't want to spend too much, but I want to bring home." So you get the inexpensive wine, and it might not quite make the night.
Yeah. Now Trader Joe's is famous because, I think it was about 10 or 15 years ago, they came out with $2 Chuck.
$2
Chuck. And it had a great sounding name, but the juice, the wine was actually pretty good.
Got a good reviews.
And it took off, and people said $2 Chuck. Well, $2 Chuck became $4.99. Now it's so Trader Joe's still has its puts its name on the label, as you can see here. Here's a Pinot Noir. Trader Joe's. So if you go to Trader Joe's, they've got their own line, with their name on it. And in most cases, the wine is, it's decent, okay, but not all of it is equitable. Now, just from what we tasted yesterday, Costco, has its own brand of wine. It's called Kirkland Signature Wines.
Good wine.
Well, Kirkland owns its own wineries, has either its own winemakers or makes agreements with accomplished winemakers to produce their wines. You can always see on the label where that wine is coming from. There's a website where you can track down that bottle where the grapes came from. And, I've had very good success with Kirkland brand wines because they set up local operations. It's not like they're sourcing grapes from all over the world, bring them in here to America, producing it here. No, they're produced on site, and they have to meet the local requirements and restrictions for producing that wine. If they're in countries like France and Italy, where they have restrictions, quality restrictions, standards that they have to meet before they can sell it. So I don't know so much about Trader Joe's. It didn't strike me yesterday that they do have any classification requirements, because in America, we really don't have the same system as they have in Italy. Anybody can produce any wine using any grapes and just sell it. We do not really have a quality control board, a government board to look at that. Although, most of these wineries are excellent producers. They want to put out their best stuff all the time. So,
but keep in mind, we were anxious to try the Trader Joe labels to see what they were, but they do have a fuller selection of Josh, Meiomi, and some of the other wines, very recognizable wines. But they're right up in the price bracket of all the other stores.
Yes.
So, but these we tried, and we were lucky. I think out of the 6, we didn't open the Pinot Grigio, but with the reds, we got that one very satisfying Barbera d'Asti, which was a very good wine for the price. Yeah. And the Pinot Noir Reserve was more than a step above their regular Trader Joe's Pinot Noir. So it was a good day. It wasn't a big financial investment. We came up with 2 wines that you might buy again for a reasonable
so
price.
I think I paid. So I got to get my sponsor to pick up the tab for this because we paid, counting the cheese. So we paid $56 for 6 wines. Okay, and then we bought the nice Gouda cheese, which was $7.
The Dutch
but
cheese,
the winner in my regard was the Amarena Cherry Double a goat cheese, creamy goat cheese. Oh, the cherry in it was excellent with the crackers. Mike bought the non crackers. Oh, we sat in the pergola and
stiff enough to hold the cheese, but not.
I love goat cheese. Yeah. I love goat cheese and crackers with wine. But that Gouda, you were right. That was
the Gouda was good, and the goat cheese I love, but not a flavored one. I just want that nice white.
Oh, I love the flavored one.
You loved it,
and they put blueberries, the goat cheese and stuff. I like that. But the Gouda was very good. It was aged and creamy. It was.
I think under the pergola yesterday with the 5 bottles of wine in the sunlight, the weak rays, anything would have tasted good. So.
Oh yeah. No, it was good. So let's start. We'll tell you a little about the wines. We tasted them all yesterday. And we're not going to denigrate any wine because it's all different. But go back to the same thing. When you see something on the rack, and nothing against the people at Trader Joe's are fantastic. I mean, they came over, asked us if we had any questions. We were on a hunting expedition, okay? But some of them are more knowledgeable than others. But it's not the same as if you're going into your favorite wine store and the guy that you can trust or the woman you can trust to tell you about the wines. So it's interesting. You should have your phone with you. If you can't find the website of the producer that's made that bottle of wine, I wouldn't buy it. And that's another thing I want to pick up because most wines now, they have their web address on the bottle of wine. If you don't have a web address on a bottle of wine where you can quickly look it up and see, hey, Jim Campanini's making this wine. There's a person behind this bottle. If it's just an amorphous website with no contact information or a story about the winery, you know what? I wouldn't buy it, even if it's $6.99 to try. Your money is hard earned. There's a better $6.99 out there with more transparency. Because the wine business has worked hard to put more transparency in it, and people know what they're buying. So let's start with this. This is a Trader Joe's Pinot Noir. Now we tasted a couple Pinot Noirs. This is from Carneros, which is in Sonoma County, and it's a cool climate zone. Some of the best Pinot Noirs in California come from this zone, Carneros. So now right off the bat, I knew this was going to be, hey, it's going to be drinkable, and it might be a surprise. This wine, Trader Joe's, let's see, cost $12.99, which was the most expensive wine we bought. Mm-hmm. Okay? Mm-hmm. And after that terrible one that we had, well, not that I'm going to denigrate any wine, but what do you think about this one? It's a fresh wine, 2021.
Yeah, and they should all be taken with food too. Food does with the cheese; it makes it taste a little better. No matter how they taste, they all taste a little better with food. And
so sometimes, if these bottles are open and they decant a little, sit overnight, they taste a little different in the next day. Usually better. I like them better because the oxidation gives that makes it a little rounder, especially a tannic wine and stuff. I was very surprised. Not much fragrance. Pinot Noirs are usually a fragrant wine, but this is very, very mild, if detectable at all.
Barely, yeah. But it's not that bad,
No, it's not.
It
tastes a little better than yesterday.
I always make a judgment. Is it a wine I'd have a second glass if someone would paddle it? I just refuse it. And this one here, definitely, you'd have a second glass. The other Pinot, no second, not even.
Yeah, the other one was didn't even have that fruit forward taste. Usually a Pinot, the tip of your tongue will get the sweetness, and then as it moves into the back, you get that little savory and mouth-watering feeling. If you don't get that from a Pinot, the bracing acidity, that's why Pinot is such a great food wine, but it's got to be in balance. If you make a swallow and it's so warm, that's the alcohol, and this is high in alcohol.
What did we pay for that?
$12.99. Yeah. And this is 14.5% alcohol.
Not money wasted, though. Not money wasted.
Not money wasted. Okay.
So
I think we gave this one what did we say? If we had to get
probably, I think 87?
87, 88 points.
Honestly, an 87.
So here's one you might want to consider and put it against other Pinot Noirs you've bought in the $13 range and see what you think about it. But it's very serviceable.
That's it. If you've already are spending that $13, $14, try this and see how it compares to the other, not $90 Pinot Noirs, but how it compares to other $13, $14 Pinot Noirs. Yeah, that's how to judge.
I always tell people, don't buy a wine by its label. But here's one that really intrigued me. They did a great job marketing, and it was International, it was World Women's Day yesterday, or maybe it's, around my house it's World Women's Week,
every week
and year. Yeah, with the wine goddess, But anyway, so here's a beautiful label. Paso Robles, no, this is from San Luis Obispo. That's between Los Angeles and San Francisco. Nice wine region, coastal. So I said, hey, this might be a good one to talk about, another Pinot Noir, right? Yeah, being that we're honoring our wonderful women of the world. So I'm going to let Mike take the lead on this because I was kind of disappointed. And once again, there is a Familia Nueva Vineyards, and you can read about their story. There's no website on the bottle, so I had to track down the name and put it in. Liberté, means freedom. Yeah, nice,
Now, on the nose, it doesn't right away hit me as inviting. Not at all.
No, the nose is not inviting.
No.
And usually Pinot Noir, like you said, has a fragrant taste.
I had my doubts yesterday when I took the nose and I said, ooh, and then on the tongue it was just
it was a little
bitter.
Flat.
Nothing.
And
no personality, no.
No, it's
No, I know. I had it yesterday.
It's kind of it's
no, I just don't.
It's not as fresh, and also the
to me, it's quite a difference between the two Pinot Noirs.
Yeah, but that La Liberté. Let's see, that cost $10.99. It's got a very harsh aftertaste, and like Mike says, you take would he want a second glass of that? If you can get down the first glass, why would you have the second glass? And maybe it was a tough lot or something. The winery seems like an established winery and stuff, but it just wasn't very good. So we also taste the Cabernet. They produce a Cabernet. We didn't bring it in, but we had that yesterday. It was a little bit better on the quality scale, but not much. When you have those true savory Cabernet flavors, it really didn't hit that hump, get over that,
and again, our expectations shouldn't be that high for that price wine.
No.
We should expect a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, and because that Cabernet Liberté Paso was even, it was $10.99 also. Would have been a nice mix and match, but and we were eating a lot of cheese with it, trying to carry the taste, and it just... We kept trying and letting it sit there for a while, decant, but it just didn't reach that level. But you know what? Everybody's palate is different. Give it a shot. If you like it, let me know. Okay, now here's a Reserva from Spain, which James Suckling gave 91 points. It's a Reserva from 2017. What intrigued me was the Tempranillo. It's 50% Tempranillo grape, which is a fantastic Spanish grape, and with beautiful taste and stuff. So we tried this one, And this wine was in the, this was one of their all stars. This was in a special section right when you walk in there for wines. This was $6.99. They were selling this. So I said, Jesus, I said 91-point wine for $6.99.
You're not going to get as much, much cheaper wine than $6.99, or more affordable, should I say?
Now, this is when we got to this end, we started to, our eyes opened up a little, because for $6.99, this had, this was in the competition. Yeah, this was a step up.
Yeah.
And a good representation of Spanish wine. It had a nice color, fresh color. You can see that nice dark purple. Yeah. The taste was fruit forward. And it had a balance to it. Even the nice acidity. You could grill meats with this, have hard cheeses with this.
So it wasn't a bad day. Reflecting back on it, 6 wines. The Pinot we didn't try, so 5, and 3 of these are okay.
Yeah. You could have pizza with this. Some nice Spanish food. So for $6.99, this was in the ballpark. This was.
And that's $6.99.
I know, $7 a bottle. I mean, so what I say is, when you go on an exploration trip like this, you buy one bottle, because if you don't like it, what are you going to do with that other bottle if you buy it? Buy one, test it out. If you like it, then you go back for more. But even that extra $7, you'd rather keep it in your pocket and see what you're buying and what you like. Okay, and this was something that we put on our list. It was,
and I still can't get over all the different places we go looking at the wines they have. They all have their own deal with their own distributors. They have different labels, but they're all so fun to look at, the different labels. Some people buy by the good-looking labels. I've done that in the past, as you did with the woman.
This is Marquis de Colbert, okay? Like the late-night TV show. A Reserva, and the grape is 50% Bobal and 50% Tempranillo. It's aged for 12 months, and it's great with roast meat and game. Once again, it's got it's got a listing here. You can contact it to see about this wine. Plus, it's rated by the Spanish wine authorities, so you can see it's an authentic Spanish wine. James Suckling gave it 91 points. I don't know if I'd go that high, but Jim Suckling is a good guy, So now this turned out to be the wine of the day. Mm-hmm. Because when I saw this is a DOCG wine from Italy.
That's got a deep color.
Barbera is one of the best food grapes in all of Italy. Barbera is what the winemakers drink. After they come home from a hard day's work, they drink Barbera. That's easy drinking wine that goes with almost anything. And but what really struck me, this wine was $6.99.
The best of the day.
But it has the gold label on it, like all Italian wines. They're in the DOCG category. That's the highest quality tier category in Italy. They have four categories. And it means they get the strictest controls. There's actually a panel that has to taste this wine, made by the producer, and it has to judge whether it meets the quality standards of the previous vintage, or they are not allowed to put this under the top restriction, top quality tier. They'd have to declassify it and go one notch lower. Okay, so I said, hey, for this to get to be labeled DOCG. Now, I bought a Barbera the week before, Vietti, which is one of the best producers of Barbera in the world. I paid $22 for it. It was a 92-point wine, and Mike and I tasted this one, and because I said, how did they get this one through at $6.90? Yeah. Well, what do you think of it?
I'll tell you. My assessment still holds true with yesterday. They taste the same as they did yesterday. The Barbera #1, followed by that Spanish one, and then the Pinot Noir. Yeah, just like yesterday, same decision. And that other
with that cherry goat cheese and the crackers, because this is very, very ripe, fresh. That cherry comes through. There's you can tell it's a little more complex. It got secondary flavors. It's got that nice. Easy, like wild herbs, which is the zone where Barbera is coming from, in in Italy and stuff. So you'll really enjoy this one for $6.99. This could be a go-to wine with pasta dishes, pizza. Oh, it's a fun wine, and it's really got that nice fruity flavor and stuff. So you'll enjoy this, and it ends dry. Nice. It ends dry, so like a nice dry Italian red should. So, so closing thoughts on our trip to Trader Joe's.
Well, I'd say give it a shot, and make sure all your afternoon chores are done though before you sit down and have 5 glasses of wine. Not glasses, but 5 tastes, because it does relax you very nicely and another interesting voyage.
Yeah. So number one, if you go up there, if you go any place looking for wines, beware of anything that's cost less than $10. The trend in the wine industry now and all across America, those under $10 wines are being left behind. People are spending $10 and more on wines. They're getting a little more quality, more concerned about quality, organic grapes, the healthy wines made from sustainable farming practices. Sure. You should be aware of it.
I suggest if people go up to Trader Joe's, try that Barbera, excuse me, and see if it matches what we said about it.
Yeah. And you can even try this, the Pinot Noir and this Spanish wine for $7 isn't bad either. Yeah, so until our next show, may the wine be with you.
Ding.